Right now, I am living in Cambridge. My current job is I'm a student, so I lost my position due to COVID, and then I decided why not take the opportunity to go back to school. So I'm a graduate student in human resources right now. I started as a counselor in 2008, and then I was a counselor. I was an integration counselor, and then in 2011, I started as the integration coordinator, and then my last summer was 2012. One word that best describes my time at Pearce Williams, um, transformative. Definitely transformative. I think I found myself at Pearce Williams, and I did a lot of growing up there. So that's definitely it. Transformative. My favorite camp song is okay, when I was a camper, it was probably the wagon song, Little Red Wagon. And we loved it because we would always compete with who could lose their voice first. And that was always fun. But when I was a counselor, I definitely gravitated towards the slow songs. Now I can't remember the name of the one. All in All was always one, and I always did the sign language. And then, actually, that might be the same song that I'm thinking of. Yeah, All in All. That was always my go-to campfire song. My background, I have always worked with special needs children. And that's because, for those who don't know, my brother has special needs. So I grew up around kids with special needs and just being passionate about caring for other people. So that has pretty much opened every door for me, growing up with him and having a community that really needs help. So I was always there for his friends' parents if they needed a babysitter when I was younger. And then I transitioned to being a respite worker, and I did that all throughout university and college. And then that's kind of how I got my position at camp too, as the integration coordinator, because I have a lot of experience with diverse needs, and yeah, it just kind of fit. And then I was working for a nannying agency, and I was in to be a nanny. I was in their system to be a nanny, but then an office job opened up. So I applied for the office job and I got it. And then that's kind of how I ended up in human resources now, because at first I kind of thought that I didn't really know what I wanted to do moving forward with as far as special needs care goes. But then I just decided that I wanted to kind of branch out, try something new. So here I am in a graduate program at Conestoga College, and it's been really good so far. So yeah, that's kind of how I got to where I am today. My best memory of Pearce Williams is the feeling of relief that I got from the parents of children with special needs dropping their kids off at camp when I was there. I just loved, because as a parent or a sibling of somebody who has special needs, it's so hard to bring them somewhere and know that they're going to be well taken care of, and that the person who is taking care of them is going to be so thoughtful and considerate of all of their needs. And it can be a struggle. And I often heard from parents that they have never felt more relaxed about leaving their children at camp than when I was a counselor. So I loved that. I loved that feeling of being able to provide them that sense of relief when they're leaving, because I know that my parents were always like, oh my gosh, we're dropping him off, and is he going to be okay? And are they going to call? Are they going to need help? But yeah, the parents let me know that they felt really good about leaving their kids, so that felt really good. One thing that camp has taught me is a lot about leadership. So at camp, I learned that not every leader is the one that's standing at the front of the room and barking orders at everybody or saying, this is what we have to do. Leaders can also be quietly in the back, helping other people get things done. And that I was always more of a quiet person. So that really helped me find my place and not feel like I wasn't doing enough or that I wasn't contributing because I wasn't the one at the front of the room. It really doesn't matter what part of the room you're in, or even if you're not in the room, you can still be a leading contributor to a project or whatever it is you might be working on, or even just leading a group of kids or counselors. And yeah, I learned a lot about leadership through Pearce Williams. The best advice I ever received. This was a hard question because all I could think of were cliches like hard work pays off, work harder, not work smarter, not harder, and those kind of things. Cut once, measure twice. But I was like, maybe I can find something that doesn't sound like a part of a book or like a saying on a mug. But I honestly think listen more than you talk is one of the best pieces of advice that I have heard, because when you open your mind and your ears to listening, it gives you a deeper connection to whoever's talking, more of an understanding of where other people might be coming from. And it really just provides you with that extra piece of insight when it comes to a project or whatever you're working on, or even if you're just talking with a friend. Like listening is superior for sure. Definitely listen more than you speak. I am currently reading a book called The Truth About What Motivates Us, and it's by Daniel Pink. It's very human resourcey, but it's been insightful. Right now, we're creating a program for a company regarding their performance reviews. And so we're kind of taking aspects of that book and trying to use different pieces of what motivates people to build that program so that it's less of a performance review, as in let's look back and see what you did wrong, and instead it's going to be focused on forward thinking and setting goals and achieving those goals and holding people accountable for those goals. So that's why I'm reading that book. And then music wise, I have been waiting to listen to the new Taylor Swift album. Haven't had time yet, but it is on my list. I would like to hear from Bug. He was one of Kevin, my brother's first counselors, and Kevin, we have so many cute pictures from that summer of like Bug and Kevin sitting at chapel, and yeah, super cute. So I'd love to hear from Bug. And then from my counseling, actually not quite mine, I think he was the year after me, but I worked with him a lot, Melon. I would love to hear from Melon. And then I'm going to nominate 3 people. And my third person will be Madav. And she was the counselor that I worked with when I was a CIT. Pearce Williams, I can't really put it into words. I did, though, on my Facebook. But actually, let me just read that. That'll be good. Okay, so what I wrote when originally there was a post saying, donate if you can, camp needs help, and that really spoke to me. So instead of trying to reword it, I'll just read it. So I wrote, Pearce Williams is many things to so many people. To me, it's where I earned my volunteer hours in high school, where I learned to love myself and be compassionate for others. It's where I learned to manage my anxiety. It gave me the confidence I needed to do big things. It gave me friendship. It showed me love. It showed me kindness. It granted me knowledge and the power of believing in myself. And it taught me invaluable life lessons that I still carry with me to this day. It's where I spent every summer for many years, and where I, one day, imagined my children would enjoy the same experience. I realized that many people who haven't experienced it firsthand might not understand the lifeline that is Pearce Williams for so many, but if you can or know someone who can, please consider sharing their struggle and donating if possible. So I really stand behind that, and I think that Pearce Williams is a place where kids grow, and it's a place where they learn about who they are and their own beliefs. And it's really formative, I think, for young kids to kind of go away and spend time with friends and spend time with people from other backgrounds and other circumstances, and really build compassion. And yeah, just a really overall a great place to spend your summers. And yeah, I look forward to sending my kids to Pearce Williams for sure.
He's not in the office today.